Hi everyone, thank you very much for stopping by and returning to the Old World. Today we're talking about arguably Games Workshop's greatest ever game, Mordheim, City of the Damned. Some of you may have also seen periodic noise appearing on the internet talking about potential re-release of Mordheim. So that'll be interesting just to have a little bit of a chat around this concept. So what is Mordheim? Well, it is a skirmish game set in the Warhammer universe in the Imperial year of 1999. Not long, really, before the period of time that the new forthcoming Old World game is going to be set. Now, the main game was pitting various warbands against each other in an imperial city ruined by a meteor strike which left deposits of weirdstone scattered around the city. But what for men was weirdstone was useful in nefarious experiments and the like was actually warpstone, also sought after by the followers of the Horned Rat. The game itself was designed for campaign play and was initially supported through some additional supplement stuff through a Town Crime magazine along with some White Dwarf content. I think there was even a Lustrous supplement kicking around in one of those magazines as well. Now, I've only personally dabbled with the game. I did have a bit of a go at a campaign set in Lustrum many years ago. Sadly, that campaign did fall through, as so many wargame campaigns do when you've got quite a few people involved. But I do remember the slightly more open tables than perhaps you'd see in a ruined city sort of landscape, leading to my Reekland marksman, aided by some quite fortuitous levelling up, being able to absolutely dominate the fields of fire with their crossbows. There has been some talk of some local interest of resurrecting the game for some games locally, so I thought I'd put a warband together just in case anything comes of it, because who knows, and if it's a chance to get some casual games in and do something a bit different, then it's always worth a go, particularly for really the cost of painting up a handful of old models. Now, I do understand that Mordheim itself can be quite a lethal game, so the top tip I've received is don't get it too attached to your warband, because the characters, they might not really be around for that long. So the question is, will Mordheim come back? Are these rumours actually based on anything? And when you think about it, I think there are a number of positives around the re-release of Mordheim. It's a game that was designed to be used with very similar rules to Warhammer Fantasy Battles, the edition that existed at that particular time. So it's something that can get you used to the storyline, it can get you into some of the models relatively cheaply, because you only need a dozen or so models aside. So it really provides that skirmish level game, that gateway into the wider Warhammer Battles games, which involved much larger forces. The setting, as I say, 1999, just before the setting of the Old World. It could be easily brought forward into the same setting and offers great ways of taking the narrative through from your skirmish games all the way up into the broader conflicts of the Old World. Then comes the but, and I think this is a very large but. Warhammer the Old World is not going to be a mainline game, it's a specialist game. And it's not a game that appears to have, I don't know this for certain, but it doesn't appear to have had tons and tons of resource thrown at it. We first knew about this game quite a number of years ago. Since then, other games have seen new additions come and go. We've seen whole new games be announced and release dates provided. So I don't think Games Workshop have perhaps thrown as much resource at the old world as would be necessary to make it anything even close to a mainline game. And if it's nothing like a mainline game, why are they going to throw yet more resource at then creating yet another new game to support a niche specialist game? I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me why they would do that and how it would fit into the landscape that we're seeing. And as I say, Mordheim has a strong fan base, and there's still events happening around the world, and some of the quite large YouTubers have been to these events and done videos on them. So it's definitely not a game that's going away anytime soon. So whilst I don't think that Games Workshop would necessarily be minded to resurrect it, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised to see perhaps a community angle on the game, looking to apply the mechanics of Mordheim to the setting of the old world. And I think almost as some kind of stepping stone between Warhammer Roleplay or a D&D type function and the old world could be quite some interesting narrative to be told, some interesting developments in that sort of area. So overall, will Games Workshop re-release Mordheim? I've got to be honest, I don't think that's necessarily something that's happening. It doesn't feel right in my gut that to say, yes, I believe these rumours. As much as I would love to see something come up, because these sort of narrative games that they've done, like Necromunda, Gorka Morka, etc., they've been really good, fun games with some really nice narrative elements. Will the community support an update to Mordheim? Taking it forward, putting it into some different settings? Well, that's a very different question, and something that maybe we might see something done, particularly more the die-hard elements of the fan base. So for that, I suppose it's very much a watch this space. Just to wrap up, I think one of the questions that remains unanswered is, was Mordheim really that great a game? I can't say that I've had enough experience of playing it to give a definite yay or nay on whether that's the case, but do let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. And also, what's your take on the periodic rumours that Mordheim might see a re-release? Finally, I just want to say thank you very much for listening to my thoughts on this topic. If you've enjoyed this video and maybe others like it from my back catalogue, do consider subscribing. It's the best way to receive the notifications of when my new videos drop, although they are periodically on Fridays at 6 o'clock UK time. I am returned to the old world. Have a great day.